Hi, my name's Kendall Taylor, and I'm a senior here at UC. I've spent the last 2 semesters researching avian mortality, or bird deaths caused by building collisions, on UC's medical campus. Building collisions are actually the number 2 killer of birds and kill up to 1 billion birds annually, which takes a major hit on their populations. And mostly low-rise and residential buildings in areas with less people cause the most mortalities. And specific birds are more likely to collide with buildings than others. Typically migratory birds are more likely than residential birds that stay in an area. A variety of factors causes building collisions, but they're so common because birds are unable to see glass as a barrier. This issue also impacts migrating birds, most often because they migrate at night and they're attracted to the artificial lights and windows. Light pollution caused by humans can also disorient birds when they're migrating and increases the likelihood of low-flying birds to hit buildings. This research is essential for UC, as most buildings on campus fall within the range that kill the vast majority of birds. Specific species like the wood thrush and worm-eating warbler, seen on the right, experience especially high rates of collisions, which is decimating their populations. Building collisions cause an overall decline in bird populations, which also impacts various other species in direct and indirect routes, because birds are essential in every ecosystem. Humans have also caused this issue, and it's up to us to fix it. I've been leading this research through the Avian Mortality Project, which has been active at UC for 13 years. We conduct daily searches of campus to look for stunned and dead birds by buildings. The focus of the study was on the impact that less students on campus would have on the number of collisions. A decrease in student population would lead to more green space available for birds. As a result, it was hypothesized that there would be an increase in the number of collisions during the fall of 2020. The focus of this research is on UC's medical campus. The buildings indicated on the right were checked daily from 7 to 8 a.m. by volunteers. Routes were rewalked at 4 p.m. during peak migration days. The building location, date, time, species, and picture were recorded for every specimen found. Dead birds in good condition were collected and frozen to taxidermize at a later date. Those in bad condition were thrown away. Stunned birds were caught and brought into Burnett Woods to maximize their chances of survival. And the information collected was then used to compare fall 2020 to previous seasons and assess the types of birds in collisions and specific buildings that had the most collisions. Here is the breakdown of fall 2020 compared to previous seasons. Fall typically has more collisions than spring, but this past season was especially bad. The total number found on Med campus more than doubled, going from 26 last fall to 66 this fall. The Care Crawley Medical Sciences building was the most lethal on Med campus. It killed 16 birds last year and 20 this year. The majority of birds were found in one area with foliage and glass on 3 sides that traps the birds. The UC Health Physicians building also proved to be a major killer of birds, but was not added to daily routes until this year. Tennessee warblers were the most impacted species with a total of 22 birds found. This was followed by Swainson's thrushes with 21 birds found, and 16 ruby-throated hummingbirds and 16 mourning doves were also recorded. All most impacted species, but the mourning doves, are migratory birds. This shows the ratio of migrant birds to resident birds involved in building collisions. As most collisions involved migrant species that most often collided at dawn due to their attraction to light, it indicates that building mitigation efforts should focus on reducing light in windows. The data collected this fall indicates that there is an increase in building collisions on the medical campus by 153.8% and an increase of 86.7% for all of UC. This supports the hypothesis that fewer students on campus will result in more collisions. Action needs to be taken immediately on the buildings killing the most birds. A variety of low-cost options are available to minimize potential risk for birds by helping them see the windows and reducing the amount of light in windows at night. More collisions and types of birds were found this season than ever recorded in the Avian Mortality Project's 13 years of research at UC. The increase is unlikely to be caused by there just being more birds because most migratory bird populations are rapidly declining, along with a greater potential for building collisions due to more available green space on campus. This data also aligns with what other programs and schools are finding. Lastly, I'd like to thank the UC administration for this opportunity and UC Maintenance and Grounds for reporting birds for us, as well as our research coordinator, Dr. Ronald Canterbury, Avian Mortality Project co-leader Maggie Deller, and all of our Avian Mortality Project volunteers. Thank you! And these are my works cited. Thanks for listening.